Hello, I am Tracy Weeks, and welcome to another installment of New Energy Conversations. Today I will be chatting with Mr. Ramesh Harilal, VP Operations at NGC. Welcome, Ramesh.
Thank you, Tracy.
So we've been hearing a lot about greenhouse gases and methane. What is methane?
So methane by itself is essentially a chemical compound consisting of a carbon molecule and 4 molecules of hydrogen. So it's made up of carbon and hydrogen molecules. Essentially, it's an odorless, colorless gas that exists in the environment from various sources, biological sources, as well as it's predominantly natural gas, and in particular natural gas, it's around 98%. It is also very flammable by itself as well, so that's the danger with methane, and it is also a potent greenhouse gas.
Okay. How do methane emissions impact the climate?
So methane, as I mentioned, is a potent greenhouse gas. It's 80 times a global warming potential that of CO2.
Oh.
It is also 2.5 times that of pre-industrial levels.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It is also the second largest contributor to global warming.
Okay.
So that's why the oil and gas industry is also, focused around trying to reduce methane emissions.
Okay, I understand. So what programs are being implemented by NGC, or what initiatives have been implemented by NGC in order to reduce or mitigate the impact of these methane emissions within the climate?
Okay, so it first starts with, what's get measured gets improved. So it first starts with measurement. And what the NGC has done is really focus its efforts around deploying technology solutions to accurately measure our methane emissions. I mean, we actually handle around between 2.5 to 3 BCF of natural gas per day.
Correct.
And we have infrastructure that spans all the way from offshore to onshore and then to our customers. So it's important that we ensure that we measure our emissions and also set targets to reduce it. So in the context of what we're doing, we're deploying technologies to actually measure the methane emissions. And we've started a survey. We spent a lot of money on spending money on technology, for example, infrared cameras to actually detect and measure the methane emissions. We've also started a pilot program with a European company called Orbital Eye, using satellite technology to actually also scan all our sites to ensure that we could also detect any methane emissions. And as of the last couple of weeks, we've certainly gotten a lot of success with that. It took about a year, but that pilot program has proven to be successful, and we were actually been able to detect methane leaks not only at our site but other operators on the island.
That's great.
Yeah.
Let's look ahead. What are the future possibilities for treating with methane in the industry?
I think first of all, it kind of starts with the industry also understanding that methane is a risk, not only to climate change, but it's, as I mentioned, it's also flammable. It represents also a safety risk.
Yes.
So one is understanding the risk of methane being released to the atmosphere. So the key thing is for us as an industry is to try and reduce the methane emissions. And we have to collaborate. We have to share information transparently as well. And it also starts with, after you measure, is also reporting, which NGC has also, started off. We joined the Oil and Gas Methane Partnership, and our focus is really around transparently reporting our emissions, coupled with setting a plan for setting targets and reducing our emissions to meet those targets. So we've joined the OGMP, and we're also trying to see how we can influence the industry to also join on to the OGMP, because it's a common framework.
Yes.
For reporting, and also they're setting standards with regards to measurement and also accurate reporting. And I guess once we sort of establish where we are with regards to methane emissions, then we could certainly set targets to reduce it. So I think the industry needs to play an important part in first acknowledging that methane is a risk,
Right.
and setting those targets to reduce the methane emissions.
Ramesh, thank you for sharing your insight on methane, its negative impact on the industry, and NGC charting the way forward to mitigate the impact of methane emissions in the industry.
Thank you, Tracy.